Women don't really have accountability for their actions. It's they always have an out. This is why we equate women to children, because children generally don't have, they generally don't have accountability for their actions, because if you're a parent and you're trying to raise a child to be responsible, then yes, you are going to, discipline your child. You're going to cause your child to have, a sense of responsibility, a sense of accountability. But I don't believe that women have this for the most part. Particularly when it comes to dating and men, particularly when it comes to their actions, their overall actions in the world. Generally, women have a very hard time accepting responsibility for much of their actions. And it really stands to reason, makes perfect sense why, because we let them get off. I mean, if you look at court case after court case of women killing their children, abusing men, female domestic violence, it's not the same thing. I see it constantly all the time in my social media groups, the groups that I have, like, anti-feminism, men and women against feminism, Honey Badger, Friends of Protection for Men. They share it constantly, right? All these examples of women who are getting off with certain crimes and they're not being held accountable for their actions on a legislative level, right? Females are not given the same amount of time or the same amount of justice, quote unquote, that men are given for very similar things: murder, theft, robbery, etc. It's just, rape, statutory rape. Can't tell you how many times I've seen female teachers who had sex with their students, which is technically rape, and they get probation, they get slap on the wrist. At most, they might get a year in jail, whereas men, they're labeled pedophiles. They're raped in jail. They go to prison and they're raped. They get the book thrown at them, right? So it's just obvious imbalance. There's an obvious imbalance in what most people will call, quote unquote, equality. There's an obvious imbalance there. Women don't have to have accountability. And I would say nothing is more shining example of that than dating. Women can date men, they can hurt men, they can lie to men, they can cheat on men, they can take our money. They have full autonomy over whether or not they have a child or not, without the man's say, and they could force the man to pay child support. Horrible things, man, in this day and age. And it's just wrong, and this is why women treat men the way they do. This is why women have no care or no love for men in general. Okay, they don't care if they hurt us. They don't care if they use us. They don't care if we're hurt over them. They don't care if they ruin our lives. In fact, they brag about it in some circles. They call it taking souls. I've seen it, man. These girls talking about, like, if you go watch, what's that guy's name? I think his name is Jack Manley. Pretty sure his name is Jack Manley. He's a young guy from Texas, and I think his channel on YouTube is called Manly TV or something like that. Pretty sure his name is Jack Manley. I might be thinking of a different guy, but he's a young guy, he's a blonde guy who goes around and he interviews drunk women on 6th Street in Texas. I think it's Dallas, Texas, or no, Houston, Texas, in 6th Street. And basically, it's a very, very popular spot with all these young girls who, they're drunk and they go out and they're wild. And he asks them all these crazy questions like, hey, have you ever had a threesome? Or, like, do you like nice guys, or do you like sex on the first date? All this kind of stuff. All these, like, kind of not pushy questions, but just like sexual advanced questions. and they always answer, and they're always like, "Woo, yeah, I love sex on the first date," or "No, I hate nice guys. I love breaking guys' hearts," and all this, because this is how they really feel when they're drunk, and they're not in school, they're not in front of their family, they're drinking, they're with their friends. This is how they really think, and it's brilliant what this guy's doing. It's brilliant, and I'm not sure his motivations, but it's brilliant because it's candid. They're when you're drunk, you tend to answer honestly. You answer questions honestly when you've been drinking. It's how you really feel. It's your real person. So he makes sure that these girls are good and soused, and he goes up and asks them questions. Like I said, I don't know his motivation. He's just having fun or whatever. But it's for somebody from like me, from my perspective. Like, I look at that like it's a sociological experiment. Like that's a sociological experiment. So it's hilarious because, like, this is how they really feel. So he asks them questions like, do you like nice guys? Do you like guys hitting on you? All these and you get the real answers. Well, a lot of times these girls, there was one, I forget. Oh, I think it's called "Do You Like Needy Girls?" Right? Are you into needy girl, or excuse me, are you into needy guys, or are needy guys bad or whatever? And the girls are all like, "No, needy guys suck." And she's like, and some of these girls were like, "Yeah, I love it when guys are needy, and I ignore them, and like, because it's like, take that guy's soul," and they were laughing at, like, they're like, break his heart, make him commit suicide, all these things, and it's like these women get power out of that shit. That's sadistic, you know what I mean? Like, guys aren't like that. Guys aren't like what guy is like, yeah, I broke this girl's heart. Like, I feel bad if I broke a girl's heart. Like, I don't understand how people can get that evil, you know what I mean? But this is how a lot of these young girls are. It's not, they even take pride in hurting guys. It's not like they really care. They don't care about you, man. They care about themselves because they don't have to have accountability. No one ever disciplined them. They're not the same as men. Men have to work. Men have to make money. We have responsibilities. We have accountabilities. Women do not. All they have to do is show up. All they have to do is be good looking and be sexual, give us sex, and that's it. And if you a wonderful book, but I think it was turned into like a YouTube video. It's by Esther Villar. It's called The Manipulated Man. And it talks about how women don't have to do anything. It talks about how women use men for our resources. It talks about how all women have to do is just show up and potentially have kids, and that's it. Whereas the man, he has responsibilities. He has social responsibilities. Men are different. It's been said that men love idealistically and women love opportunistically, and I think that's very true from my experience. These women, they'll go out, sleep around, etc., but they're looking for a cash cow. They're looking for a guy with resources to take care of them. They don't want just love. They don't want to love you in any traditional sense. I don't believe it's in women's character. I don't believe it's in women's DNA. I don't think that's how nature, unfortunately, created them. I don't know why men are different. I don't really understand it. But so I turn my alarm off here. But it's just the way that it's been, man. It's the way that I've seen things, and it sucks, and it's harsh, and it's hard, and it hurts because you know, as a man, you get lonely, and you want a companion, but you want somebody who's not going to want you for your resources. You want somebody who's not going to want you just because you're a shining star and you went out and you got a suit and you got a good job. And I've seen that again and again, man. These girls, they just go for these guys who have the bright future, and it's like, that's just not love, man. That's just not love. And it's like, I've seen guys use it. They use their resources to get women, and they don't have a problem with it. And I've always had a problem with it. I've always been like, I don't ever want to get rich because I know I would attract women. I don't ever want to have money because I know women would come around me because they'd be like, oh, this guy's successful, because I've been there. I've been successful in certain areas. I played basketball in high school, and when I was on the team, when people found out that I was on the team, everybody treated me differently. Everybody was like, oh, you're on the team, you're special. And I thought it was weird. It was like, I don't know if I ever would want to be a celebrity, because it's just creepy how people treat you. They treat you, and it really exposes a lot of true human nature. How phony most people are. Most people are very phony, and even your quote unquote friends. I had a lot of friends who thought I was cool because I was on the basketball team, and they liked me when I was on the basketball team, and they treated me differently, and they acted like they were free. And people are really good at fooling you. People are really good at, if you have status, if you have social status, if you're good at something, or you have a position and people like you and people like that position, it's very easy for people to treat you differently. It's very easy for people to treat you in a certain way, and it's creepy because you're like, some people are good at it, and there was a lot of people that were like kind of just average, everyday, lower class people, but just not that high of social status as I was, right? Regular as students, right? Who like looked at me like I was God or something, and I was just like, this is creepy. Like, I'm just on the basketball team. Like, I'm not even that good. I just, like, okay, I've got like a Letterman's jacket. People know me. I'm in shape. Like, I'm tall. Girls want me. Girls like me. And it's like, it gets cringy because you see how phony people are. And what really made me sad, actually, particularly in hindsight, when I look at it now, when I'm looking back, and there was a lot of like regular guys, regular people, who were just kind of enamored with me and got like tongue tied when they were around me, didn't know what to say. Hey, Jason, hey, how you doing? What's up? Like, nervous around me. I'm like, dude, I'm not like, what am I, a celebrity? Like, that's how you were treated if you had social status. People thought you were so cool. They were like, this guy's really cool. He's what I want to be. And like for like 2 years, I was like, I was that guy, because it was like I was popular, I was tall, I was good looking, I had a good smile, I dressed well, and I worked at all that because I wanted I wanted that. But it wasn't that wasn't the full reason why I did it. A lot of the reason why I did it because I was trying to be like my older brother who did that when he was in high school. So a lot of reason why I dressed the way I did and was acting cool the way that I did was because of my older brother, because I was kind of trying to shadow him or whatever. And because I was all like cool like that, people just, put me into that category. Like, oh, this guy's cool. He's on the basketball team. He dresses cool. He's got a lot of friends. He goes out and parties. He gets girls. And so whenever they be around me, they get nervous and like talk weird and then people who like were cool like me, they'd be all phony up in my face and like, oh yeah, like act like they liked me and shit. And like, I didn't know these people, but they would always like act like all friendly to me, like they knew me and stuff. And it was just like, that's how like these social circles are. It's just phoniness. Like, this is how Hollywood is. This is how these sports circles are. Like, everybody's phony, and it's just like, you can't have any real friends because you don't know if anybody likes you for who you really are. You know what I mean? And then you realize that girls, they only like you for that reason. And it's like, but then when you graduate and all that gets taken away from you, you're like, oh, okay, I see how people really are. Now I see how people really are. Everybody's selfish. Everybody's going for themselves, and girls are no different. And girls are just going after a guy with his resources. So I could never trust, if I ever had money and I ever had resources again like that, and I ever had that kind of social status on this adult plane, on this adult level, I could never trust a woman. I could never feel like I ever had real love, because it's always going to be for your social status. And this is what girls are going after. This is why every time you go out on a date, a girl says, oh, what do you do for work? How much money do you make? And she's all concerned about the future. And this is why girls choose guys who have houses. This is why girls choose guys who have resources. This is why girls choose guys who have cars and boats and the ability to go on vacation and all these things, because they want that money. They want your resources, and it's phony. And it's like, I don't understand how guys play into it. And I don't and it's like, it's creepy to me, because it's like, you're just living a phony life. How could you kiss your wife at night? How could you cuddle with her at night? How could you tell her you love her when you know damn well that you use that status and those resources to get her in the first place? You know damn well that if you lost that stuff, she would be gone. And I hope you know that, because if you don't know that, then you're really deluding yourself, and you're fooling yourself into thinking that you're something more than you are. That oh, she really just loves you for you, but yet You don't even know how many guys she slept with before. You don't know how many guys she broke up with before because they didn't have money like you have money. You don't know all the guys that she dated who were, quote unquote, weren't going anywhere in their life. See, girls have these ways of, explaining away their past guys. Oh, he's a loser. He's a bum. He wasn't going anywhere. What is she really saying? She's saying, I want resources. That's what she's saying. She's saying, I want a guy with money, right? And if you're that guy and you don't even know about her past when she dated and dumped those 15, 20 guys who didn't have a good enough job for her or whatever, how do you think that she really loves you? Do you think she really loves you? I hope not. I hope you understand that her love is circumstantial. And and there's a big difference there. And this is why I could never marry someone who like, oh, okay, I got her because I had a nice job or whatever. I could never quote unquote fall in love with somebody or live with somebody because she chose me for my resources, right? But this is what these women do, and it's all part of that. Like that video I talked about, Esther Villar, the manipulated man, how women do not have to do anything. They just show up at the finish line and they pick the winner. They show up at the finish line and they pick the winner. They're not with you while you're running the race. They're not with you while you're suffering through college, while you're building your business. Maybe if they see potential in your business, maybe if they see potential in you. But if you just stay at home, you're not making any money, you don't seem to have any future, she's not going to stay with you. I know, because that was me. That's been me. I remember back when I was in high school and I had the status and all these girls wanted me. And then there's even more than that. Like, oh, okay, well, I was on the basketball team, I was cool, I was popular, I went to parties, girls wanted me, but I didn't have a car. I was still riding the bus to school. I was like, shit, man, I'm a junior in high school and I still don't have a car. And then I realized the guys who were getting the girls, the guys who were taking the girls home, sleeping with the girls, they had the cars. So I was like, oh shit, well, I got this much status, but I don't have that. So it's like, cool. I get a lot of phone numbers. Girls are interested in me, but when it comes to actually taking them out, when it comes to actually, getting somewhere with them, they don't want me anymore because they realize I don't have a car. And there was always the occasional girl who was like, oh, I really like you. And she wanted me for my status. She wanted me because she really liked me. She thought I was cute or whatever, but she wanted me for my status. And she didn't care that I didn't have a car. There was a few girls like that. And I never dated those girls. I never wanted to date those girls because it came across phony. It was like, I can tell that you want me because I'm cool and I'm popular. I can just tell. And then later on, after I graduated, I didn't have all that anymore. And I was like, where's all the girls? Where's all those girls that liked me? Where's all those girls that thought I was cute and gave me their number and called me and were interested in me? Where'd they all go? They're all gone because now I don't have that status anymore. Now I'm not popular like that anymore. And then I was like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to go get them myself. So I went on the dating sites, got them, took them out, got the girls, had sex a few times, blah, blah, blah. Then they were like, invariably at some point, like, well, what do you do for work? Are we going to have a future? So it's like they had no problem sleeping with me, sucking my dick, coming over, to my mom's place and cuddling up with me or whatever. But then when it came to like, okay, well, what about our future? Are you going to go out and get a job? Are you going to go out and get a career? Are you going to go out and get a house for us? And I'm like, well, no, I'm doing this photography thing, or I'm doing this YouTube thing, or I'm doing this and this. And they're like, I don't see any future in that. And then they would leave me. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I see how far your love went. So it's true. They just stick around at the finish line and pick the winners. And it's like, as men, why are we playing into that? Why are we playing into that whole thing where like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna be in competition with other guys so I can get resources, so I can get a girl. And it's like, how phony is that? How shallow is that? Women need to be better, and we need to choose better women, and we need to choose a woman because she really loves us, not because she likes our resources, right? So that's that.